The introduction of the Avalia Liberty, also called the next-gen Acela, into South Africa marks a new era in transportation history, an era where technology, luxury, and progress merge together to create not only a train but a symbol of what modern infrastructure can achieve in the heart of the African continent. And while trains in the past were often seen as slow, traditional, and outdated, this new arrival represents a future where rail can compete with air travel in speed, efficiency, and comfort, carrying passengers across great distances in record time while offering them a level of luxury never before experienced in the railway systems of South Africa. And when people look at the sleek body of this train, its aerodynamic front nose, its futuristic silver, white, and blue paint scheme gleaming under the bright lights of a luxury showroom, they immediately understand that this is not just a machine but a vision of progress on rails, a promise that cities like Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, Pretoria, and Port Elizabeth can be connected in ways that will redefine how people move, trade, and dream in South Africa, because the Avalia Liberty is not only about speed, though its design allows it to run at speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour, but also about comfort, safety, sustainability, and elegance, each of which has been carefully woven into the design of the train. From the wide leather seats that give passengers more legroom than even premium airlines, to the ambient lighting that adjusts naturally to the time of day, creating an environment of relaxation and focus, to the Wi-Fi systems, power outlets, and entertainment screens that make every journey a blend of productivity and leisure. And as we picture this train speeding through the South African landscapes, cutting across the flat stretches of the Karoo, gliding past the dramatic mountains of the Western Cape, or running parallel to the Indian Ocean coastlines of KwaZulu-Natal, we realize that this machine is not just about moving people but about uniting a nation through connectivity, reducing travel times that once seemed impossible, such as making a Johannesburg to Cape Town journey, which previously required either a 2-hour flight or an entire day by car, possible in just a few hours of high-speed comfort on rails. And when South Africa looks at the assembly of this train in modern factories, with engineers and robotic arms carefully putting together every piece of its body, the advanced mechanical parts, the aerodynamic shell, and the intricate interior systems, one can see that this is a marvel of engineering, but it is also a marvel of vision, because it takes vision to imagine that such a train could belong not only to wealthy nations but also to a country that seeks to leap forward into the future by embracing technology at its finest. And in South Africa, the Avalia Liberty is not only a transport option but also a statement of identity, proof that the nation can host one of the most advanced rail systems on the planet, with sustainability at its core, since the train is designed to consume less energy, to rely on modern electrification methods, and to reduce carbon emissions, which means that each trip made on this train contributes to a cleaner future, and passengers stepping inside this futuristic marvel are greeted by interiors that resemble luxury hotels more than traditional trains, with polished floors, wide aisles, futuristic lighting panels, large windows that frame the South African countryside like a moving cinema, and a silence that allows one to work, read, or dream without the constant vibrations or noise of old locomotives. And when we turn to the back of the train, the rear design is equally futuristic, built not only for aerodynamics but also to complete the aesthetic of speed and modernity, while the top view shows the flowing curves that reduce air resistance and allow the train to glide like a bird over tracks, and the engine, when examined up close, reveals layers of engineering mastery, advanced components working together in harmony, exposed mechanical parts showing the sophistication of modern rail technology, a reminder that the Avalia Liberty is not just a piece of transport equipment but the result of decades of research and development in the field of high-speed mobility. And when South African citizens imagine boarding this train in Johannesburg and stepping off just 3 hours later in Cape Town, they imagine a life where distance is no longer a barrier, where families can visit relatives more easily, where business meetings no longer require flights, where tourism flourishes as visitors experience South Africa's landscapes from the windows of a train that moves like a silver arrow across the nation. And it is this vision that makes the Avalia Liberty more than just a train, because it becomes part of the cultural narrative, a piece of infrastructure that inspires pride, ambition, and hope. And just as the luxury English showroom presentation highlights the train's beauty, gleaming under soft lights with every curve and every detail visible, so too will its presence in South Africa shine as a reflection of the country's determination to embrace the future, because in its speed we see ambition, in its luxury we see progress, and in its presence we see a new chapter of South African history being written not on paper but on steel rails stretching across the land. And so as the Avalia Liberty is prepared for launch in South Africa, we can imagine the excitement, the media coverage, the photographs of its front, side, back, and top views, the close-ups of its engine, the images of its interior with passengers smiling as they enjoy the experience, the behind-the-scenes shots of its assembly process in factories, and the final moment when the train makes its maiden journey across South African soil, its sleek body cutting through the air, its interior filled with the hum of satisfied travelers, its identity forever linked to the future of South African progress. And this is why the train is more than a technological achievement, it is a symbol, a promise, and a reality that will define how South Africa moves, dreams, and builds for generations to come. The Avalia Liberty in South Africa also represents a deep transformation in how infrastructure projects can redefine an entire nation's perception of progress, because when citizens witness a train that can run faster than the cars on highways and even challenge the time efficiency of domestic flights, they start to believe that technology is not something distant but something that belongs to them, something that operates in their cities, through their landscapes, and within their lives. And when school children in South Africa see the shining nose of the train displayed in media campaigns or perhaps visit the showroom to marvel at its futuristic body, they begin to dream about engineering, about railways, about designing something extraordinary themselves, which means that beyond transportation this train also becomes a seed of inspiration, an educational tool that shows the younger generation that South Africa can host world-class technology. And when we think of the economic implications of a train like this, we can imagine local tourism doubling as visitors from around the world come to experience the unique landscapes of South Africa, not from airplanes above the clouds but from the comfort of high-speed train windows where every mountain, vineyard, desert, and ocean view becomes a moving painting. And this boosts hotels, restaurants, cultural sites, and local economies in ways that ripple across the nation, while also making business travel easier because executives, entrepreneurs, and workers can move rapidly between Johannesburg and Durban or between Cape Town and Pretoria, turning what was once a tiresome journey into a streamlined experience of productivity. And this is where the luxury elements of the train become essential, because passengers are not only moving quickly but also moving in style, seated in ergonomic leather chairs, surrounded by mood lighting, sipping coffee or tea from onboard service counters, accessing the internet seamlessly, and enjoying the comfort of smooth motion that feels closer to an aircraft cabin than to the rail journeys of the past. And while this train's technical design, its aerodynamic curves, its lightweight construction, and its advanced safety systems are all incredible on their own, it is the way the Avalia Liberty integrates with South Africa's national vision that makes it powerful, because it embodies the idea of bridging gaps not just between cities but between opportunities, between rural and urban areas, between different parts of the economy that until now felt disconnected by distance. And if one imagines standing at a station in Cape Town watching the train arrive, its lights piercing the horizon, its modern exterior reflecting the South African sun, one realizes that this machine is a story of both motion and ambition, a story written on rails that carry not only passengers but also hope, ambition, and pride into the future. And for that reason, every photograph taken of its front, side, back, top, engine, and even its mechanical assembly in the factory becomes more than an image. It becomes a reminder that South Africa is not following the world but leading with a vision of its own, placing itself at the forefront of high-speed mobility in Africa and beyond.